This is familiar. Crikey, back again already. Hello.
Not doing any more lives. Here we are.
It's over because we had it set up, and then we've been brought out, come back in again, back to where we were. So actually, we'll come back to the live thing in a second. But how you doing? Hi. How are you?
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
Hi.
You're doing good. Fantastic. Hi.
We were playing, amusing ourselves before we went live.
Need to give you a high five, and then what we need to do is you need to get Al to stand off camera, and then his hand comes through, and then gives you a high five. Looks like I'm high-fiving you virtually. So I tweeted the little gif out of Al Pacino in The Godfather going, I tried to get out, but they pulled me back in, and it's like day 72. No, welcome back. Day 72 of the continual lives. Okay, I didn't do it yesterday, but I was doing the pod. So it never stops. It's unabating. Hello to everyone. Hello, that's everyone that's joining us. Comments-wise, there's a lot to get through, so bear with us. The numbers are going up in terms of viewers. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. There's a lot of notifications. We recognise you won't cover everything. There's a lot of stuff to go. So how I'm seeing it, and at the moment, is that there's been loads of dust. It's kicked up in the air. Everything's going off notifications-wise. And it's wise to let the dust settle. We want to speak about things right now, but we recognise you won't cover everything. We won't address everything. There's many different opinions and thoughts. Everything's very positive at the moment. But going forward, there's going to be more information and communication. Official answers coming out with Nick Pearson and Free Weekly Timed. We'll come to all that in a second because we're going to speak to Nick on Monday. Nick's going to be on Free Weekly Timed. There's a lot to think about, and I was very fortunate enough to have a chat with Russ Jeffries yesterday, and he was saying about they've spent such a long time, but once this one small change has huge ripple effects across everything, every little thing, even if it's the
whole of parkrun world.
Yeah, the most technical thing, like again, the club badges and things like that, it's huge. It's a massive undertaking. Anyway, so let's give a quick shout out to people. Apologies if we don't address every comments, because of course we're not going to be able to get through it all. But Dave Sabby Williams, of course, I have to give you a shout out. Back so soon. Afternoon, everyone. Yeah, all right. Everyone's rubbing it. I won't be on live tomorrow. I better not be. I'll get a call later going, oh yeah, we're going to announce this major controversial. I would say controversial, not controversial at all. This announcement. Anyway, right.
Well, this live is a bit controversial because John Japp said, I can cope with the change to T-shirts, but Nicola on the left is just wrong. That's a very controversial live. Run the wrong side.
It doesn't work like that, John. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. I want to be looking towards Nicola. This is my best profile side. This is why.
Is that what it's about? Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I prefer that side.
I've got an asymmetrical face, so therefore this is my best profile side, most ridiculously attractive side. Anyway, afternoon, everyone. Can you see all the comments, Nicola? Everyone's saying hello. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, absolutely. Big shout out to to the Irish and happy St. Patrick's Day. Absolutely.
Oh, I might make a Guinness cake.
You will. I bet you will. Danny, misses so much. Lockdown 4. Okay, everyone's comments. Okay, there's so there's a few things to address, and of course, if I do say something, none of this is official. Wonder if a 750 and 1,000 T-shirt are in the plans. I think we've spoken about this, Carl. I'm not sure if you're relatively new to the pod stuff, but 750 is not. There's no plan. Darren's past 750. There is no plan. Look, again, things could change, but there aren't any in the plans to the best of my knowledge. And 1,000, yes, Tom Williams stated a long time ago, 1,000's in the plans.
So there's going to be a cape. Yeah.
There's going to be a cape. And what colours will there be? Again, don't know. It's way too far away. 750, no. 1,000, Darren's on 766. So it's not something I'll have to think about for a longer time. Who knows? But yeah, absolutely. Because, of course, Carl's interesting. I love Carl. He's very positive and super. And he went, well, we have to make sure that they volunteers are equalised. Because of the comments we've had on our post, they volunteers give up their time. And I'm like, Carl, that's sacrilegious. They don't give up their time. They give their time. As you know, me and Tom very much feel about it's not giving up anything. You choose to spend that time. You give your time. We have a
and you get so much from doing so.
Yeah, there's nothing we lose. Give up means you lose something, and you don't. You gain so much. So you give your time and you gain a lot back. And then it was and then what did he say? It was they. And I find that pronoun very interesting. It's not they. It's not them. It's us.
Them and us, the runners, the volunteers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit like that with me, because I mean, I don't volunteer that much, but Danny does.
But that language is very important. I feel. Again, they should be
family. It's all of us.
who are they? They are my parents and your family and your relatives and your friends and everything. And again, it's us. It's like, so again, it's amazing the power of that language and the connotations. And so how I see it about volunteers choose to give their time, or we as volunteers and everyone exactly choose to do that. And it's an interesting one.
What we're here to talk about.
No, because I was going to talk at some point down the line. I want to talk about the controversial idea that I think the junior parkrun volunteering is seen by some as being less valuable as volunteering at 5Ks. But that's not something we'll address right now. Of course it is.
And do you know why? It's because they're not giving up a run. They're not giving up a run. Yeah. I mean, exactly. We can talk about it, but people know what language they should use, but I don't think that feeling will change because,
Yeah, exactly. I spent 5 years giving my time to be part of 7 juniors. I have no kids, and I've really enjoyed it. And I feel that's just as valuable. Well, I feel it is just as valuable. But I know people won't see that. They go, "Well, you didn't give up your run on Saturday," and it's like, okay, let's not go down that road. Anyway, so super duper duper. Again, comments. If you're talking, Cole Johnson, you knew what I meant. I know I did, Cole, but I still called you out. Darren Barrett, a little bit sad that the free ones are going, but always thought it would happen. Being able to replace old ones will be great, though. As much love, 50 top fits like a dress. Again, this is what we're going to talk about. It's inevitable. It has to happen. And why? So I knew a big shout out to Russ. And sorry if you're new to us, guys, and I'm doing this, it's because I have Dolly fluff on me all the time. Nicola saw it yesterday. I'm not doing it because I want to have ticks and want to do my face. I'm just covered in cat hair all the time.
Look at me. I'm paying attention to my face. No, the sun was shining in yesterday. I could see them floating through the air in front of you.
So Russ gave us a call yesterday, gave us a heads up, because that's wonderful. Because rather than me being here and then suddenly, this news has come out, and it's like, oh, here we go. He's dropped that stone into the pond, a ripple, boof, here it goes out, and notifications go off, and they're still going off. Our WhatsApp's going crazy, our Facebook notifications are going nuts, because of course we express the information forward. And he gave me a heads up, and I've been prepped and ready. So this morning I went on Twitter and I asked people, surreptitiously, I didn't intonate as to why I was doing it. I said, what's the one thing that you miss most from parkrun? And I had resoundingly the people, the community, the time spent with people. Not a single one said, I miss the Milestone T-shirts and the material items. Of course they wouldn't do. So when they had a discussion with Russ yesterday about it, they want to keep it, but they recognize it's not key, core, and instrumental. If they don't exist to Milestone T-shirts, people will still go back to parkrun for the social side of things, but they still want to have them. So they're having that mindset is like, if they don't happen anymore, it's not the end of the world, but they still want to have them, and they are going to remain. And this is why we're here today. We're talking about how they're going to be sustainable. And here was a wonderful...
have we even said that, like, there has been a blog post? Are we introduced what we're saying? No,
everybody watching.
We're just chatting.
Everybody watching right now knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I feel like we've not provided context, Danny, and I feel like we'd be the first to shout at ourselves for not providing context.
We haven't even given our proper names, Nicola. We rely on them to know what our names are instead of these silly names down the bottom, these silly puns. So, yeah, what has happened? The blog post, if you've not read it just yet, there's changes to Milestone T-shirts going forward, and they are in effect from September the 1st. So what we've also had going on, Nicola, we've had our lovely helpers helping out, collating feedback from the various channels. You can find it all across the various Facebook groups.
Yeah, we wanted to know what it was like, whether it was positively received or whether people were worried about things or how people felt about it. But we've been a bit surprised. Most of Parkrun World has been very positive, which has been lovely. Because sometimes, especially online, people like to make a fuss just for the sake of making a fuss and having a post for a bit of attention. It's been really nice day in Parkrun World.
Vicky, now there you go. Look, I didn't know about the changes, but you do now. You do now.
So there's going to be a £15 charge for T-shirts. Well, in fact, it's lots more than that, isn't there? It's not just about the charge.
Yeah, I just wanted to say there's a lot of the comments going, there's general nuanced questions about little things, and if we were to go through and address every single one, we wouldn't be able to do that. So I recognize there's a lot of comments in the chat which I'm not going to be able to get through. If there's any swearing, I'm not going to bring it up either. I'm not going to, I'm just have to be careful. And but also I know we'll get questions about things that we don't have the official line. I know quite a bit of information, but there's still little things that need to be ironed out. And of course, we are going to ignore a lot of the real negative stuff. So, Ian, who would have thought Ian would have brought up the negative thing? So, a regular watcher of our lives is Ian is a bit of a grump. He's a lovely grump. He's a Oscar the Grouch type person. We all love him, but he's like a little green fluffy thing that lives in a bin. And he said that the new cost might marginalise those unable to afford it. And of course, the immediate resolution in my head is there's a problem. What's the solution? And the potential solution, of course, many people have suggested it and it's been thought about and known about for many years, is that there are alternatives and solutions. So people can pay it forward. They can buy it as gifts. There's going to be birthday gifts. And £15, which is the price of the T-shirt going forward.
Including postage. So.
Including postage. I think, because it's being subsidised, is very, very great value. So
yeah, and I think the thing to remember with things like this is that Parkrun will have thought of it. So although they've made this announcement about the T-shirts, about changes to lots of things, which we're going to summarise, are we all go through, Danny, at some point? They've made these changes. There will be more that they'd thought of already. They will have things in place. Nick, we'll listen to Free Weekly Timed on Friday, and then Nick will chat to us on Monday. And let's see after that, because obviously Parkrun can't just release something huge. It would be too much information to take in. So they've tried to focus on the main points in the blog post, but still, there's still a lot there because we've been receiving some questions that are covered in the blog post. So, you know, that people have gone on, scanned it and gone, oh, what about this? Well, actually, that is addressed in the blog post. So have a full read through the blog post, listen to Free Weekly Times on Friday, listen to listen to Nick on Monday. Yeah. And then let's see what questions there are.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's going to be one or two things that may not be entirely covered or may not be, not everyone's going to be happy. Of course, you can't please all the people all the time. That's the whole thing with Parkrun. It tries to be like they're doing now. They're equalizing the fact that you're going to get your V's across the board as well as the run, walk, jog is run, jog, walk. I have to get used to that too. Somebody made a very good point. They said, why not call it run, walk, wheel? Of course, again, there's always going to be little things about the changes that happen that not everyone's going to be entirely happy with, or suggest things that haven't been covered. And of course, they would have to maybe contemplate that down the line. But yeah, it's mostly positive. It's hugely positive.
Are we assuming that everyone has read it though, Danny, or are we going to go through it? Can we talk about aspects of the blog post? So like for me, the most interesting part of it was when it said over the past 12 months, Parkrun have suffered a significant reduction in revenue. So we'd supposed that sponsors might have pulled things over the past year, obviously with there not being...
I worried that because there was no Parkrun, the bank... Was it the return of investment in terms of all that? The key performance
and even donations as well. Because obviously, if you're not going to Parkrun, it's not in the front of your mind to make a donation to your local Parkrun that doesn't exist at that moment. Yeah, so that was interesting. A confirmation from Parkrun HQ that obviously there has been a reduction in revenue. Yep. And it was interesting. It's saying, projecting forwards, if they continued T-shirts being free, it jeopardized the future of Parkrun. And that's major. That's major to anybody who you know, whether you've done 5 Parkruns or you're completely passionate about it, jeopardizes the future of Parkrun. So this seems like a fantastic solution when you think of it in those terms.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once again, guys, there's so many comments and opinions being shared. And what I find is so fascinating is that you're going to have such a diversity of opinion regarding that. Some people are going to be a lot more forthright about it going forward about certain things. Some people, again, in the whole of it, I'm perfectly okay. And some people are going to be really vocal, social media ability to go on there and go, right, I think this is going to be the case and so forth. I'm happy with sponsors on the apricot shirts because people say, I don't want sponsors on it. I asked if they're going to be sponsors on the T-shirt, and Russ said, scaling it up going forward, it's not workable. It's simply not workable going forward, certainly on a global side of things and companies that are applicable globally. So of course you can end up having a UK sponsor, and then of course it may need to be different across the countries, or you have a global one you'll reduce down to, or you can choose. Carl,
and there's such one. Oh, sorry, go on.
I'd like to see volunteers receive their tees for free as recognition. I'm going to come away with Carl's comments because of course I could go off on one about a lot of this.
Well, I think you've already covered that about volunteering. You know, you get something whether you're volunteering or running, not in terms of the material T-shirt, whether it's free or paid. You get something from it, whether it's a run, a community feeling that you've helped other people. So I mean, I think we've already covered that in our chat this morning. Look,
Yeah, selfishly giving to other. We know this. We know this. Again, we're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer. I know what we're doing. So in terms of the telling parkrun to do something for free, etc. Yeah, look, can we just try and remain a bit positive about it all? And
well, there's lots of positives coming from it. So the fact that
absolutely.
globally juniors can access 10 t-shirts, that's massive, because junior parkrun, like to kids, it means so much. I remember Poppy's 10th parkrun. So that, you know, there's these positives coming out of this. That and there's going to be adult sizing, kid sizing for the Milestone Tees, which Poppy's a bit sad about because she loves her dress. So you might have to continue. You might have to sway your child. what?
Bev,
Bev or Dolly?
No, Bev, the first thing she said was, we're not going to have kids in dresses anymore. They're going to be
see, Poppy loves her parkrun dress.
Yeah, exactly. It was hilarious.
You might have to remember to order an adult size, even though there are kid sizing for the Milestone Tees now. From September.
I did ask Ross as well, because people are going, wondering if there'll be an increase in people volunteering. Do you know what? If there is an increase in people volunteering, that's a good result, because of course it doesn't come at a cost to parkrun. That's going to be covered. So it was always a case of, if there are a rise, then more people are doing volunteering, then they have to cover the cost of those t-shirts. But if you're paying for those t-shirts and more people are going to volunteer as a result to get those things, that's a win-win. That's almost like a quid pro quo element going on there. So I think that's pretty cool. And
for years and years, people have said, why is there only 25 for volunteering? I've done this many volunteering. You're valuing runners over volunteers. And so in that way, parkrun has listened to that, thought about that, and here's an answer. And so I think lots of people will be happy about it in that respect as well.
That's key. So Stephen Gardner will know this, and he came up to me and Nick at a Bushy Park. I think which was it 15th anniversary? And he came over, and me and Nick were having a conversation about this a while ago, about these things. And he went, "Oh, we're having a very serious conversation." And went away, and we were talking about this. Now, parkrun have been thinking and deliberating over this for years, and they've been discussing and talking across the board with staff members and ambassadors, insights, research, and they've come to this conclusion. They thought about how the way we do this going forward. Now, you picked up a comment, and I've seen it too, about, well, why don't you just end up, if you say they're truly inclusive, they're all equal, then just add all the numbers together. So of a weekend, for example, I asked Russ this. I said, if I take part in the parkrun as a tail walker, I get a run count and volunteer count. And if I then go to volunteer the juniors on the following day, does it count as 1 over the weekend or 3? And he went, it counts as 3. Because, of course, once again, it doesn't cost parkrun that. If I want to get the additional counts, and then they'll have additional one on my run and additional one on my volunteer tees, then I pay for that. That's perfectly fine. Again, so there's no detriment by doing this. If you add all the numbers up, and the one thing they didn't want to do, one of the reasons they didn't want to add them all together was they had so many people out there going, I can't wait to get to my 250th, which is 5 weeks away or 10 weeks away. I plan my 500 for then or whenever. You suddenly pile people up. All the numbers change in terms of where you stand in your totals.
So you're talking about adding total volunteering to total run count to get one kind of parkrun score or count or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Because, of course, we always know that there will be people who end up going to chase those numbers. But, of course, it doesn't come at a cost of parkrun anymore. But parkrun don't want to do that. So, of course, Darren Wood on 766, and then, of course, these volunteer things counts, and someone goes above him or up and hits the 1,000 club all of a sudden. That's not going to happen. So it's one of the reasons.
To be honest, I hope that nobody really thinks that that's a good idea, because they are different things. And let's not forget that volunteering stats weren't even recorded in I was going to say the early days, but the early years of parkrun, volunteering stats weren't recorded. But every single run from the very beginning of parkrun has been recorded. So actually, I think, that wouldn't make sense in any way, I don't think. Somebody may have had it as a nice idea, but really it doesn't work when you think about it.
Have you had a look at any of the comments? Well, of course you had a look at various comments. We've had people collating comments into a Word doc. So thank you to everyone that's contributed and chipped in. And again, everything is very, very positive, because what usually happens when there's a big change with parkrun, the bigger parkrun gets, the bigger the ripples occur when change occurs. And so, of course, again, the diversity of opinion becomes a little bit broader and wider, and everybody has the ability to speak on it. And this has been, we were like, oh, is this going to be okay? And do you know what? It's actually really quite appealing to have most people on board with it. We've had all the controversies in the past. I think that people might have a different opinion on parkrun, having not had it for such a long time.
Yeah, we were so desperate for it back. We don't want to say anything bad in case it doesn't come back. That's not going to happen. Even the comments that I saw, not supporting this, but saying, oh, I don't want to pay £15 for a t-shirt. That's fair enough. And even those posts weren't really complaining. They were just saying, actually, I wouldn't want to pay £15 for a T-shirt. And that's absolutely fine. You have the choice, don't you? So that's great. They weren't even whingy, oh, I can't believe they've done this. I wouldn't pay that. I won't get a T-shirt. It was actually all really nice.
You will always find a couple. And of course, we all have that habit of going, right, let's go look in the comments. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's like, don't read whenever you look at a review and it's like, 2,000 5-star comments and then there's like 2 1-star terrible, and you're like, oh, I wonder what they say.
Well, you do. It's a sore thumb that sticks out. So of course you do. You sift through and you go, oh, that's nice. Okay, I agree with that. I agree. I want to get emoted. I want to find something which is really irrational in my opinion. I want to read it and I want to get, how can you think that? How dare you? And you have that. And somebody was, we got shown one saying £15 for a T-shirt. That's ridiculous. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? The quality of the
T-shirt is actually really good value, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah. So actually, before we were recording, I was saying actually, I don't think I'll buy my volunteer T-shirts. I don't qualify at the moment. I think I'm like 2 away from my 25, and I thought, oh, shall I do them before September? And I thought, do you know what? I don't think I will actually, because or if I did, I wouldn't order the T-shirt because I run in my running ones. And I've got lots of technical T-shirts, and those Milestone T-shirts mean loads to me. And lots of people are going to be in a position where they don't know what to wear on a Saturday. It's going to be a really hard decision because some people are going to have so many. And there's a new 25 club for running. So that's then another choice.
And then juniors, of course, wristbands things. There's elements coming there too down the line. So they've thought everything through. I just want to, that's not the comment I wanted. Helen Longcake, maybe just most people are positive because in all honesty, it was inevitable. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that everybody was totally, utterly aware that the sustainability of 2.5 million projected T-shirts, even at £1 in the next 10 years, is £2.5 million over 10 years. So just say it costs £5. What's the maths on that? 12.5 million?
Just ridiculous.
Imagine what you could do with 12.5 million in terms of the staff and organization itself, rather than just spending it on free T-shirts given away. It's mad. You cannot justify that. You absolutely can't. So it was, like you say, an inevitable resolution to this. I love the new T-shirts. There we go. Again, £15. I love the newer T-shirts, better quality and fit than my tribe ones. Absolutely. It's amazing. Crikey, I think we've missed so many elements. There's
been so many comments. And what is the one thing that we personally are pretty excited about? What's the first thing you're going to order?
Yeah, thank you. You're waiting for me to say. So my 500.
No, I'm being genuine. This is a massive change for lots of people whose T-shirt has got something wrong with it because they've broken it in the wash or ripped it somewhere or fallen over in it.
Lost it.
We're going to be able to order new ones, maybe not straight away. And obviously they did say there may be supply issues at the start, so don't know, that might not be available in September. But going forwards, the possibility, and we've been talking about it for years, of being able to buy a replacement T-shirt. So you were saying you wouldn't be able to wear yours if you order another one.
Yeah. So my 500 crop top that I had become, I can now get a 500 chunk top because I've become a bit chunker in lockdown. So I'll be able to do it. And that's something that I've always wanted privately. And I'm just super pleased that they're able to facilitate that. I think so many people across the board are going to be, like you said, damaged, lost, etc. They'll be able to do.
Well, when you get a 500 top and you calculate how many years you're going to need to wear it for, how many Saturdays, you start to get a bit panicky about it because any T-shirt, no matter how high quality, is going to struggle to last for that long. So you start becoming too precious about it, or like wearing it just for the run and then taking it off for the cafe, or So being able to replace it, I'm very pleased.
Absolutely. Aubergine Gale, what colour will the 25 T-shirt be? Is it being equalised? So the run, walk, jog one will be, I need to say purple, aubergine. So that's going to be the same. Stephen Ferguson's a bit sad there's not more outrage to indulge myself in. Charlie Pierce says, I hope people don't try and compare volunteer counts in a negative way or start discussion about value of different roles. This is one thing that parkrun's always been hyper aware of. The minute you do have volunteer counts, you end up having people who end up going, well, I've done these amount, you haven't done your fair share. And that's always, unfortunately, a side effect of that when you start to account and accredit these things, people are going to end up weaponizing it. Not everybody does.
Yeah, it's less of a problem in the UK because like the number of Saturdays we have where you can stand around in a T-shirt volunteering, you normally need a jacket. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's probably only a few months.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, people shouldn't, and hopefully don't do that.
Hello to everyone. It's quite a big audience, and of course, some people may drift away as we go on for half an hour, etc. And I know it's lunch times for many people, but thank you for joining us.
It's funny. I thought you were going to start by saying like summarizing the blog. We just went full into just a random chat.
Because it's how my brain's been in the past 2 hours once it just got set off. You can go into the blog. And of course, like I say, we don't need to necessarily go over it. If people really want to know the ins and outs, it's detailed. Again, people are going to have questions. Claiming your t-shirt is going to be the same way as before. So, of course, this is all in September, which gives them plenty of time for them to go over things. It's a long, long way away. They recognize that, unfortunately, some people are going to get to a certain point or not be able to park run by September. So if they might be on, say, 248, 249 or whatever it is, their countries can't happen, and they go, well, it comes to September and I would have had it free had it happened before. But they have to draw the line somewhere. If they wait for everybody gets to that particular point.
But this exact same thing happened, let's not forget, when they discontinued the 100 jackets. Exact same thing. They gave a date. If you fell on or before that date, you got your 100 jacket. If it was after that date, you didn't. These things have happened before. There's no other solution to that. It's a date, and that's how it is.
Well, they mentioned it in the blog as well. They said that, I remember it, the fleeces, when Darren Wood got his fleece and had his name stitched on the back, and then PSH paid for the first 10 due to be into the 100 club to be paid and stitched, and they recognised it's going to be too expensive. Then just 100 on the back, and then they go, okay, this is too much. And then the BPTT became parkrun, so we need to change that. And then Nike came aboard, did the jackets tees, and then poof, and it just goes. So, of course, there are people who've been around a long time who go, well, I remember when it used to be this way, like myself, like yourself, Nicola. And I think we have got used to these changes. When these changes come along, we go, we have to accept it. We can't expect it to be like it was in 2004 or 2005.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? But people who've joined parkrun, say, in the past few years, then won't have been used to watching something grow and evolve over years. So yeah,
exactly. So they won't be so accustomed to the change. There'll be some people, we see it every time, and I said this years ago, that people come into parkrun immediately and go, right, let's try and reinvent the wheel. Have you thought about this? Why not charge £1 a go? And you're like, I know you won't have that perception, but you are the millionth person to come in and say this. And so it's always like, we appreciate your suggestion, but recognize that 15 years is a long, long time to have a lot of things thought about. And once again, it's always trying to impress that we're not going to sit here and evangelize and go, parkrun does everything correct, because we look, some people are always going to disagree about certain things. Fine. But on the whole, where their intentions are there, majority of them, they're not a faceless entity. They are volunteers that have been around for a long old time, and been event directors, run directors, everything, given up their lives. It's part and parcel of their life. And they think...
Yeah, parkrun wouldn't have announced this blog post without having thought of pretty much everything that people can think of. So... yeah, let's give them a chance, shall we, to answer some questions or to give a bit more information. But I'm just really impressed the way it's gone down. I'm impressed with Parkrun World today. Yeah,
absolutely. You're going to join me in going through the comments, because we need to talk about this on the pod next week as well. So that's going to be cool. We won't need to go over everything, because we'll have discussed it beforehand anyway. I love the whole fact that they're having the little V's on the tees, and there's going to be, what it does do, it means there's going to be more swathes of colour of the specific parkrun palette when you go to a parkrun. So there's now going to be more opportunity for people to go out, and certainly retrospectively, because you can retrospectively get these T-shirts. People will be there, and you're going to have your apricots and your reds and your blues and your purples, and it's going to be like this again, this lovely rainbow spectrum of color at parkrun events. And I really look forward to seeing that, with the identity, with that little parkrun tree, that lovely little parkrun tree, the one that's based on the one in Bushy Park.
Yeah,
if you're new to this, it's not, by the way. But
while I was driving to the supermarket this morning, I drove past the parkrunner, and there's nobody in the car with me, and I went, "Oh, a parkrunner!" to myself, just because I saw the little tree on the back of their apricot T-shirt. It's brilliant.
Yeah, Matt Garner. It took me an embarrassingly long time to get Nicola's Miles Tone screen name. That was my name that she stole off me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because I was going to be Mr. T, but that felt more appropriate for you to be Mr. T.
Absolutely. Emma, have you not been watching or listening? Will the feed
read the blog? Well, actually, to be fair to Emma, I don't think we've said that.
But the blog.
So we haven't said.
We said read the blog. We said read the blog post.
Well, we said read the blog, yeah, but we can say, so yes, the volunteer tees will follow the runner colours. So yes,
yeah, absolutely.
it'll be the same.
Okay. Super duper. Right, half an hour. I think we've kind of summarized the elements. I'll just see if I can pick out some of the comments. Yeah, I don't begrudge paying for it at all. We'll never struggle to recruit report writers or token sorters. Again, that's Stephen Ferguson, I think, isn't it? But again, if it means that you have many more hands to make light work, then all for it. It doesn't come at a cost to anyone apart from the person himself buying the t-shirt.
And it's not a massive price jump, because we used to have to pay, what was it for postage? £4.95, £4.50, something like that.
Yeah, Peter LaRue said that South Africa. Yeah, Peter LaRue said South Africa have been paying the equivalent of that for postage and packaging anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, it's great. Parity across parkrun world.
Right, people are going back to work. So as an interlude, I'm watching the numbers just start to go down a little bit too. We could talk parkrun forever, Karen Spackman, absolutely. Stuart Harding, fantastic, prompted me to finally sign up to Parkrun Forever. That, of course, is the monthly contribution. Like I say, we weren't doing it to get the money up, but it's lovely because you think, of course, if parkrun doesn't have an income source, then of course it detrimentally changes. And of course, they've gone, right, we need to get rid of this cost and keep the survivability of the charitable organization going. So it's absolutely sensible. I'm all for it. I'm behind it. Brian Hunton, is there a most volunteer table to look at? This is what we addressed very briefly. There is. You can go and have a look. Nikki Clark, I believe, is going to be the highest total one. As long as people use it to go fantastic, brilliant, well done, you, not to go.
Use it to celebrate achievements.
Yeah, rather than to beat someone down. That's the thing. Sort of like clap upwards rather than punch down on people. And so there is. But at the moment, I tried to go and have a look, and it wasn't loading. It might be my computer, but you can go and have a look on parkrun.com, and there's clubs. You can see who's standing and where you're at. So yeah.
I feel a bit sorry, really, for the people who've done an awful lot of volunteering, because what are they going to do? If it was me, I'd quite want the set if I was on, say, like 500 plus.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
that is quite expensive, because they're going to have a lot of t-shirts to order.
Yeah, absolutely right. Oh, I can't go through all the comments. Going to have to go. But thank you, everybody that's commented, because of course it's you and I chatting, and then we've got 150 people all conversing at us in there. So if you've enjoyed our live feed, then just give us a thumbs up and a like. If you're on YouTube and watching us, don't forget to give us a like, because it helps our channel grow. Much appreciated. If we've forgotten anything, like I say, apologies, can't cover everything.
We'll go through the comments, and obviously we'll discuss it on the pod next week. Listen to Free Weekly Timed, watch the live on Monday, and
next week's pod. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, let's be fair, it's just very exciting to have any news in parkrun world that affects us all, that is about going forwards. I'm just excited about that.
Something, and again, something is better than nothing. That's the thing. We have something here. It's slightly changed. It's better than not having it at all, as is always the case. Right. So lovely. Thank you to you all. Take care. I'll see you, I hope, earliest on Monday, not before that. But other than that, take care. And the pod will be out tomorrow, probably now, because I've not been able to edit. I've not been able to edit because this is going in the way. Anyway, take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's such a calamity. Guess what I forgot to add, Nick?
Yeah. Aren't we still live, Danny?
We are still live. Yeah, absolutely. What did I forget to put in?
What did you forget to put in?
The farewell video. I forgot to upload it because I've got a new set of branding items going on this page. We just have to do a really awkward goodbye. Wait, look at the camera and wave.
What? Oh, you want to go to the video, but you can't.
I don't have it. I don't have it in my particular feed right now. I forgot to load it into the settings on this new StreamYard.
We can just go back to awkward Zoom faces.
That's what we're doing. We have to do that. Bye, awkward cheeses. Awkward cheeses.